Last night's episode of The View witnessed unprecedented carnage when Ricky Gervais demanded "say that again" after Joy Behar called him a washed-up shock comic who mistakes cruelty for intelligence. The British comedian didn't just respond with jokes. He delivered a surgical dissection of Joy's decades of hypocrisy that left her speechless and the show in ruins. But what started as promotion for Gervais's new stand-up special would expose something darker about how The View uses selective outrage to destroy careers while protecting their own scandals. The ABC studios were thick with anticipation from the moment Gervais arrived. The 62-year-old comedian was there to discuss his latest Netflix special examining comedy censorship, a topic guaranteed to create friction with The View's hosts. But Joy Behar had prepared something particularly vicious. A makeup artist later revealed overhearing Joy tell writers, "This British prick thinks he's untouchable. Let's remind him he's just a has-been who offends people for attention." The preparation notes included lists of Gervais's controversial jokes and problematic statements spanning 20 years. Therefore, when cameras began rolling at 11:05 that morning, Gervais already knew he was walking into an ambush, though his relaxed demeanor suggested complete indifference. The show opened with typical hot topics, Joy making several pointed comments about comedians who've forgotten how to be funny without being offensive. Whoopi tried to maintain neutrality, but the energy was clearly hostile toward their upcoming guest. Gervais waited backstage, scrolling through his phone with apparent boredom. His publicist would later describe him as eerily calm, like a cat watching mice plan their attack. When Whoopi finally announced, "Please welcome Ricky Gervais," he strolled out with his characteristic smirk, greeting each host with exaggerated politeness that somehow felt mocking. "Ricky, your new special has been called transphobic, misogynistic, and cruel. Are you proud of that?" Joy began immediately, abandoning any pretense of professional courtesy. Gervais laughed, that distinctive cackle that had irritated celebrities for decades. "Hello to you too, Joy. Lovely to see you haven't changed. Still confusing virtue signaling with virtue. I see," he said cheerfully. "I don't signal anything. I stand for decency," Joy said defensively. "Decency? You've spent 30 years mocking people's appearances, beliefs, and personal tragedies. But sure, you're the arbiter of decency," Gervais replied, still smiling. Therefore, the battle was joined immediately. Sunny Hostin tried to support Joy. "Ricky, your comedy punches down at marginalized communities," she said. "Does it? Or does it punch at everyone equally? See, equality means everyone gets mocked. You want special protection for groups you've chosen. That's not equality, it's patronizing," Gervais responded. He leaned back in his chair, completely relaxed. "Joy, you called me washed up. Say that again. To my face." With conviction, he challenged. Joy hesitated. The studio went quiet. Gervais's smile widened. "Come on, Joy. You were so brave during commercial break. Say it now," he pressed. "I said you're a shock comic past his prime," Joy said weakly. "No, you said I'm washed up. Say that exact phrase. Or are you only brave when people can't respond?" Gervais asked. The power dynamic had shifted completely. But Gervais was just beginning his dissection. He pulled out his phone. "Should I read your tweets about Betty White? The ones you deleted after she died?" he asked. "Those were jokes," Joy protested. "Oh, jokes are acceptable? Then why are you offended by mine? Or do only your jokes count?" Gervais asked. He turned to the audience. "This woman has made a career of mocking dead celebrities, attacking people's marriages, and judging everyone else's morality. But my jokes are the problem," he said. "Your jokes are cruel," Joy insisted. "And yours aren't? You joked about Robin Williams' suicide. You mocked Whitney Houston's addiction. You called Mac Miller's overdose predictable. Should I continue?" Gervais asked. Each example landed like a precision strike. The audience began murmuring. Some were Googling to verify his claims. Everything checked out. But Gervais had more ammunition. "You know what's really interesting, Joy? You've had 3 facelifts, but mock other women for plastic surgery. You've been divorced, but judge others' relationships. You've made millions being cruel, but call me offensive. The hypocrisy is staggering," he said. "That's personal attacks," Joy said, her voice shaking. Personal? You just call me washed up. You've spent decades making personal attacks. But now you want immunity. Gervais asked. Whoopi tried to intervene. Let's keep this civil, she said. Gervais turned to her with surprising intensity. Civil? Whoopi, you've sat here for years watching Joy destroy people. You've enabled it. Don't pretend you want civility now, he said. The rebuke stunned Whoopi into silence. But Gervais wasn't finished with Joy. You want to know the difference between us? I mock everyone equally. You mock everyone except yourself and your friends. That's not comedy. It's cowardice, he said. I have standards, Joy claimed desperately. Do you? Then explain your blackface incident. Oh wait, you said that was different. Everything you do is different, isn't it? Gervais pressed. The revelation sent shockwaves through the studio. Younger audience members were frantically searching online, finding the photos Joy had tried to bury. The scandal was being resurrected in real time. That was a costume, Joy protested weakly. So was mine when I dressed as Hitler for a joke. But you called that offensive. Again, rules for thee but not for me, Gervais asked. He stood up suddenly. I'm done with this show. But before I leave, let me explain something to your audience, he said. This woman represents everything wrong with modern discourse. She demands apologies, but never gives them. She claims moral authority while living in moral bankruptcy. She attacks others' comedy while her own comedy is just disguised hatred. He continued. You don't know me, Joy said desperately. I know your work. Decades of it. Mocking, judging, destroying, all while claiming superiority. You're not a comedian, Joy. You're a bully with a laugh track, Gervais said. He looked directly at the camera. To everyone watching, remember this. The people who police your speech are usually hiding their own sins. The loudest virtue signalers have the most to hide. And those who can't take jokes shouldn't make them, he said. This will end your career in America, Joy threatened. Gervais laughed harder than he had all morning. My career? I've got 5 Netflix specials, 20 Emmy nominations, and enough money to never work again. Your threats are as empty as your moral posturing, he said. But then he delivered the killing blow. You know what your husband told me at that charity event? That he watches my specials when you're asleep because he needs to laugh at something actually funny. Even he's tired of your bitter act, he revealed. Joy's face crumbled completely. The destruction was total. But Gervais showed unexpected mercy by turning philosophical. Joy, you're 79 years old. You could be an elder stateswoman of comedy. Instead, you're just an angry old woman who confuses nastiness with wit. That's not aging badly. That's living badly, he said. He walked toward the exit, then turned back. Oh, and that facelift joke earlier? That wasn't about your surgery. It was about how you've had 3 facelifts, but still can't face yourself. Think about that, he said. The wordplay was devastating. Joy sat frozen, unable to respond. The other hosts looked shell-shocked. The audience didn't know whether to applaud or sit in stunned silence. We need to go to commercial immediately, Whoopi said urgently. Within seconds, hashtag Gervais Destroys Joy was trending worldwide. The clips went viral instantly. Every platform exploded with reactions. The blackface photos Joy had suppressed resurfaced everywhere. Former guests began sharing their own stories of Joy's cruelty. The accumulated evidence of her hypocrisy was overwhelming. Decades of double standards were being exposed simultaneously. Joy attempted damage control the next day. Ricky Gervais ambushed me with personal attacks, she claimed. But nobody believed her. The footage showed her starting the hostility. Gervais had simply finished it. The audience saw who the real bully was. Gervais released a brilliant statement. I went on to discuss comedy. Joy wanted to discuss character. So we discussed hers. She didn't like what we found. That's not my fault. Maybe she should have been nicer. The statement went viral for its simplicity and truth. It sparked global discussions about comedy, hypocrisy, and the danger of moral grandstanding. ABC suspended Joy pending review of the blackface incident being resurrected. Advertisers fled. The show faced potential cancellation. Joy's decades-long career was imploding. Meanwhile, Gervais's special broke Netflix records. His takedown of Joy became legendary. Comedy clubs taught it as a masterclass in destroying hecklers with their own words. The incident became known as the Gervais guillotine, swift, precise, and fatal to hypocrisy. Universities studied it as an example of comedy as social commentary. But the deeper impact was on discourse about offensive comedy. Gervais had shown that those claiming offense were often the most offensive. That moral police were usually moral criminals. Joy never returned to The View. She retired in disgrace, her legacy destroyed by one conversation. The woman who'd built a career on mockery couldn't handle being mocked. Years later, Gervais would joke, "Joy Behar, ending my career was like a fish threatening to drown me." The threat only revealed who couldn't swim. The empty chair Joy left wasn't mourned, but celebrated. Her departure marked the end of an era of hypocritical moral grandstanding disguised as comedy. Gervais had done what network executives and co-hosts couldn't. He'd exposed Joy's cruelty by simply reflecting it back at her. He'd shown that bullies crumble when their own tactics are used against them. And Joy Behar, who'd spent decades demanding apologies from others, ended her career unable to apologize for herself. The woman who'd called Gervais washed up was washed away by the tide of her own hypocrisy. In the end, Say That Again became more than a challenge. It became a moment when false moral authority met genuine comedic courage. And courage won by simply telling the truth with a smile. The audience that day witnessed something rare. A comedian who wouldn't apologize for comedy defeating a bully who used comedy to hurt. Gervais had shown that the best response to "that's offensive" is sometimes "so what?"